So good afternoon, students. So today I'm going to explain about the new topic, that is assembler directives. Okay. So these assembler directives are nothing but these are the special codes we are going to give into the assembly language programming, so that based on these special codes, it will do a specific task. Okay. So these are nothing but a special codes we are including in the assembly language programming. Okay, these are some assembler directives. Assume. Okay, this is one assembler directive. Assume. DB is nothing but defined byte. uh, Defined double word. Okay, DD means nothing but defined double word. Okay, so I'm going to explain each and every directive in detail. uh, Define. DQ is nothing but defined quad word. DT is nothing but defined 10 bytes. DW is nothing but defined word. End is nothing but end program. End P is nothing but end procedure. End S is nothing but end segment. Equi is nothing but equate. Even means align an even memory address. Group. Okay. So group means a group related segments. ORG is nothing but originate. Uh, PROC. So this is a procedure. Okay. Procedure is one type of small program. We call this as procedure. So when you want to call a procedure, you have to use the assembler directive, and this is nothing but a pointer. Okay. So first directive, that is assume directive. So this assume directive is either to tell the assembler that the name of the logical segment should be used for the specified segment. Suppose in the programming, I already told assume CS code. Okay. So that means wherever we are writing the program, okay, so we need to initialize the segment. Okay. So where we can write the program, we can write the program in the code segment. Okay. So that's why we assumed that CS has code. Okay. Suppose if you want to initialize some data, so you have to initialize in the data segment. So there you have to use assume DS data segment. Okay. DS data segment. DB is nothing but defined byte. So whenever if you want to declare any byte type variable, okay, or if you want to store that byte into the memory location, you can use the define byte. Okay, so this define byte directive is either to declare the byte type variable or store a byte in a memory location. And define word is nothing but, so byte is nothing but whenever you are defining 8 bits of data. Okay, that is a defined byte. And a word is nothing but 16 bits of data. No, 2 bytes are nothing but one word. Okay, so this is either to define a variable type word. Okay, so it will reserve the storage location type word in the memory. So that means it will reserve 2 bytes of data in the memory location. Okay, so this is a defined word is a directive to define a variable of type word or to reserve storage location of type word in memory. And this is a defined double word. This directive is used to declare a variable type double word. Okay, so double word means what? 32 bits. Okay, so two words are nothing but double word, or it will restore the memory location which can access to type double word means it can access 4 bytes. 8 fours are how many? 32 bits. Okay, so 4 bytes are two words. That means 16 to 30. So that means double word. 32 bits are nothing but double word. And DQ is nothing but define quad word. So it tells the assembler to declare 4 words. So 4 words means how many? The word is one word is 16 bits, 16 fours. So that means 64. It reserves 64 bits of data that should be declared to the variable, or it will reserve 4 words or 64 bits of data uh, into the storage location. Okay, this is a defined DT is nothing but defined 10 bytes. So 10 bytes means it will allocate this assembler will define a variable which has 10 bytes in length, or it reserves 10 bytes of storage in memory. Okay, so this is about the define byte, define word, define double, define quad word, and define 10 bytes. So next end is there. So end is nothing but so whenever if you want to end a program, okay, so you can use this directive end end directive, end program. So this directive indicates the assembler that this is end of the program module. So whenever you return some program, so if you want to end that program, you have to use this directive end program, end directive. So after that means this assembler ignores any statement after the end directive. So that means you return the end. After end, you return some step of instructions. Okay, the assembler ignores that. That means assembler will understand that the program ends after end. Okay, so that's why you have to include the instructions before the end only. Okay, and end p. So if you want to end the procedure, okay. So as I told you, procedure is nothing but one type of subroutine or a small program. So if you want to end a procedure, you can use this directive end procedure. End as end
Sir,
segment. Can you work?
sir,
Yeah.
sir,
What is your doubt? Ask me.
sir, someone is waiting, sir.
Yeah,
Admit చేయండి.
admitted. Yeah, admitted, admitted. Total 31 students are there.
సార్ మళ్ళీ సార్ చూడండి.
Total 31 are there.
లాటరల్ 7 ఉన్నారు సార్, ఒకసారి చూడండి. వెయిటింగ్లో ఉన్నాడట.
So total 31 students are there. No one is joining. So next, end s. End s is nothing but end segment. Okay. So this directive is either to use it with the name segment to indicate the end of the logical segment. That means, suppose if you want to end the code segment, okay, if you want to end the logical segment like the data segment, you can use this directive end s. EQ. EQ is nothing but whenever if you want to initialize any value to any symbol, you can use equal to. Okay, this is equal to directive. Equate directive is easy to give name to some value or to a symbol. Okay, so this is equal to. So this procedure is used to identify the start of the procedure. So whenever you're calling, means microprocessor is calling any procedure, you can use this directive procedure. And pointer is used to specify type of variable or a label. So org is nothing but anyway, in order to start the program, you have to give a origin address. Okay, org 00h means the program will start from the address location 00h. Org some 2000h is there. 2000 is something but the offset address. So the 2000, that means the program will start from 2000 address location. Okay, so if you see So this is a one example for assembler directives. Assume CS code. So CS is nothing but the code segment. So whenever if you want to assume any logical segment, either data segment or code segment, you can use this directive. Assume CS code. ORG 3000. So that means our program starts from 3000. Name defined by Thomas. Okay. So that means Thomas is one type of string. So that means string is defined as a byte. Each and every part of the string word is defined as a byte. Pointer, so that is assigned to name. So name equal to what? Thomas. And pointer defined double 1234 1234 H. So double is how much? Double is it's a 32-bit word. Okay, 32-bit data. So double word, defined double word. So wherever the pointer is there, that will be assigned to 1234 and 1234 H. Okay. Factor equal to 03. So that means 03 is one value you are assigning to factor. Okay. So like this, these are some examples of the assembler directive. Okay. Is it okay? Do you understood the students? What are assembler directives? Please give response. So that I can move forward.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So next we will see the sample programs, assembly language programs. So this will be useful for your lab also. Okay. Assembly language programming, and in the final exam also they can give some sample programs related to 8086 microprocessor. Okay. So you need to know about the basic logic. The programming will be easy. Okay. And you need to know about the instruction sets and addressing modes and the assembler directive. Okay. So this is a simple program. So you have to increment a 8-bit number. So move AL comma 05. So that means you are initializing AL with how much? 05H. And next what you are doing, you are incrementing AL. So that means AL becomes AL plus 1. And whatever the result you are getting, that result will be stored back to the AL. Okay. So that means 05 plus 1. So 06. So 06 will be stored back to the AL. Okay. This is the program, second program, increment and a 16-bit number. So move AX comma 0005H. So this is a 16-bit data to AX. Increment AX. Increment AX means what? AX equal to AX plus 1. So 0005H plus 1. Okay. After execution, you are getting the result in AX. AX equal to what? 0006H. Okay. These are the simple programs. Program 3, if you see, decrement and an 8-bit number. So move AL comma 05H. You are moving 8-bit data into AL. These are nothing but the comments. Okay. So what this instruction is doing, so this says this comments. Decrement AL. So decrement AL means what it will do? It will decrement the content of AL by 1. So that means 5 minus 1. That becomes 4. 4 will be stored back to the AL. Decrement a 16-bit number. 16-bit number means, so first of all, move AX comma 005H. You are moving AX with 0005H.
Sir,
Decrementing, any doubt, students?
slide is not changing, sir.
One second. Now is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you see, so this is the program for a decrement of 8-bit number. move AL comma 05H, you are moving 05 8-bit data to AL and decrementing that AL. So that means AL equal to what? AL minus 1. So AL becomes 5 minus 1, 4H. Okay. So result will be stored back to the AL. Decrement and a 16-bit number, move AX comma 005H. So move 16-bit data to AX. 16-bit, this is a 16-bit data. Okay, AX is a 16-bit register. And decrement AX means what? AX equal to AX minus 1. So 0005H minus 1. We are getting 0004H. That will be stored back to the AX. Okay. So this is about the small programs. Next, if you want to find out the ones complement and twos complement. Okay. So these are the programs for ones complement and twos complement. First of all, we'll see the ones complement. This is ones complement of 8-bit number. So you are moving a move AL comma 05H. So move 8-bit data into AL. Not AL. Not AL is nothing but complement of AL. Okay. So that means complement of AL is nothing but what happens. Uh, so here, if you see, so this is a 05H. Okay. So 05, if you convert into binary, you are getting 0000101. Okay. Now what is ones complement? Changing ones, zeros to ones and ones to zeros. That means 1111 and 1010. So 1111 is nothing but F and 1010 is nothing but J. Okay. So here, after performing the ones complement, you will get the result as FAH. Okay, you will get the result as FAH. Okay, so that means by converting the given hexadecimal to binary and changing zeros to ones and ones to zeros, so you need to verify. So that means FAH. And next program, ones complement of 16-bit number. So you are moving AX with 0005H, not AX. So that means you are complementing ones complement. So if you convert into binary, you are getting the 16-bit binary number. So after converting zeros to ones and ones to zeros, after execution, you will get AX equal to what? FFFFA. Okay, FFFFA. That is the ones complement. Okay. So next, twos complement. Okay. So twos complement is nothing but for the ones complement. If you add 1 to ones complement, you will get the twos complement at the LSB. Okay. So if you see this twos complement of 8-bit number, move AL comma 05H, move 8-bit data to AL. Not AL is nothing but ones complement. You are complementing AL, so it becomes FAH. Increment AL means what? You are adding 1 to AL. That means it becomes FA plus 1. That means FBH. Okay, FBH. So this is the result you are getting into. This is not AX. So this is AL. Okay, so this is AL. After execution, you will get the result. Okay, so this is the result. And next, twos complement of 16-bit number. You are moving AX with 0005H. So this is a 16-bit data. Complement AX. Okay. So after once complementing, this becomes FFFAH. Okay. You are adding 1 to this, it becomes FFFBH. Incrementing AX is nothing but adding 1 to that becomes FFFBH. Okay. So this is about the ones complement and twos complement. Okay. So Next, if you see, this one is add two 8-bit numbers. Okay, so there are two 8-bit numbers are there. You need to add these two 8-bit numbers. Okay, so first you take one 8-bit number 05H, move AL comma 05. So move first 8-bit number into AL register. Okay, and next, so next move BL comma 03H. So move the second 8-bit number to BL register. So after moving these two numbers, you have to add. Okay, add AL comma BL. So that means what you are doing, you are adding the content of AL and content of BL, and result will be stored back to the AL register. Okay, so that means 05 plus 03H. What is the result you are getting? 08H. Okay, so the 08H is the result you are getting into A. So this is a program for 8-bit number, and program 10, add the 16-bit number. Move AX comma 005H. Okay, so move first 16-bit number into AX. Move BX comma 003H. Move second 16-bit number into BX. Adding AX comma BX. So what you are doing? You are adding the content of AX and content of BX, and result will be stored back to the AX. Okay, so that means 0005H, 0003H. You are getting the result as 0008H. That result you are getting into AX. Okay, so that is add 16-bit number. So next, subtraction. Subtract two 8-bit numbers. You are taking 05H into AL, move AL comma 05H, and second 8-bit number move BL comma 03H, sub AL comma BL. So what you are doing? You are subtracting BL from AL. Whatever the result you are getting, that result you are storing back to the AL. Okay, so that means 05 minus 03, 02 you are getting. That result you get into A. Similarly, subtract two 16-bit numbers. So 0005H, 16-bit number, you are moving into AX. 0003H, you are moving into BX. Subtracting BX from AX. Okay, so 0005H, 0003H minus 0003H, you are getting 0002H. That result you are getting into AX. Okay. Okay. So this is multiplication. So if you see the multiplication, multiply two 8-bit unsigned numbers. You are taking 04H into AL, move AL comma 04H, move BL comma 02H. Mul BL is nothing but this is the implicit instruction. So that means you not indicated AL. By default, it will multiply AL with BL. Okay. So that means it will multiply BL with AL. And when you are multiplying two 8-bit numbers, the result can be a 16-bit or result can be a 8-bit. Okay. So by default, the result will be stored in which register? AX. Okay, 16-bit register. This is signed multiplication, same as unsigned, but you are taking a signed number. Okay, I mul. So this is one of the difference. Here mul will be there. Here I mul will be there. And next, multiply two 16-bit unsigned numbers. If you see, you are taking one 16-bit number into AX, another 16-bit number into BX, move AX comma 0004H, move BX comma 0002H. So mul BX means nothing but initially you have to initialize the BX register with 000H. We are non-initializing means by default it will initialize with all zeros. Okay, so when you are multiplying two 16-bit numbers, the result can be 32-bit. Okay, so that result will be stored in AX DX. Okay, so that means lower 16-bit will be stored in AX, higher 16-bit will be stored in DX. Okay, so here 4 into 2 is the 0008. Okay, 00 will be stored, 08 will be lower byte, 08 will be stored in AX, and 00 will be stored in DX. Okay, this is divide two 16-bit unsigned numbers. So move AX comma 0004H, move DX comma 0002H. Okay, so basically it is a 32-bit division. DX AX by BX. Basically it is DX AX by BX. So when you are dividing, you are getting the quotient and remainder. Quotient will be stored in AX. Okay, 4 by 2. You are getting the quotient 0 to no, that will be stored in AX, and remainder is 00, that will be stored in DX. See here, quotient in AX and remainder in DX. You need to remember this. Okay. So this is the detailed program of 16-bit addition. So this is by using the indirect addressing mode. Okay. First you have to initialize the count with a 0000H. Okay. Move AX comma 1200. So if you see the program 16-bit addition. So you are initializing CX with 00 all zeros. You are clearing CX count register. So move AX comma 1200H. So that means whatever the data, 8-bit data present in 1200 and 1201, you are moving into AX. Okay, 1200, whatever the data present in 1200, you are moving into AL, and 1201 you are moving into AH. Okay, move BX comma 1202. So that means 2 bytes of data is over now. Next location starts from 1202. Okay, so get the second data. So that means in 1202, 8 bits of data is there, that we are moving into BH. 1203, another data is there, you are moving into BL and BH. First 1202, whatever the 8-bit data is there, you are moving into BL, and whatever the data present in 1203, you are moving into BH. Next, what you are doing, you are adding AX and BX. So you are adding the content of AX and content of BX, and result will be stored back to the AX. Okay. So jump if no carry. Suppose if you are not getting any carry, you need to, so it will jump to this label. Okay. So whatever the CX value is there, CX count value is there, that you are storing in address location 1206 and 1207. Okay. And whatever the result present in AX, that you are storing in 1204 and 1205. Suppose if you are getting a carry, what you should do, you have to increment CX, that value you are storing in 1206 and 1207, and result you are storing in 1204 and 1205, and halt. Halt means what? Stop the program. Okay. So this is how this is a detailed 16-bit addition program. So you see this program, whatever the program I said, the same thing. So in the place of add is there, subtraction operation is there. Okay. First you initialize the count, and whatever the value present in 1200 and 1201, you are moving into AX, and 1202, 1203, you are moving into BX. Sub AX comma BX. So you are subtracting a content of AX and content of BX. Result will be stored back to the AX. Okay. Same thing. Okay. So whatever the result you are getting, you are storing in 1204 and 1205, and the count is there, you are storing in 1206 and 1207. So this is a 16-bit multiplication. So if you see this program, so whatever the value present in 1200 and 1201, you are moving into AX, and 1202, 1203, you are moving into BX. Mul BX. So mul BX is nothing but, so it will multiply ax with by default implicit instruction, that means ax with bx. Okay, so whatever the result is there, so that means lower 16 bit will be stored in ax and higher 16 bit will be stored in dx. Okay, that means when you are multiplying two 16-bit numbers, you will get the 32-bit result. Okay, so that means store the lower order product to 1206 and 1207. This is the memory location. And whatever the dx value is there, copy the content of higher order product into ax. After that, again store that ax, whatever the content of ax, into 1208 and 1209. This is higher. So store the lower order product will be stored in 1206 and 1207. Higher order product will be stored in 1208 and 1209. Okay, so this is 16-bit multiplication. And next 16-bit division, if you see, so the same thing. So first whatever the value present in 1200 and 1201, you are moving into ax, and 1202, 1203 you are moving into dx, and 1204 and 1205 value, so whatever the value present in that address location. So this is first data and second data, and dividend is there, dividend by divisor, divide the dividend by divisor. So dividend by divisor means this is a divisor. Okay, 1204 and 1205 you are moving into bx. Do bx means what? Dx ax by bx, dx ax by bx. Okay, so dx ax by bx means you are getting the quotient and remainder. Quotient you are storing in 1206 address location 1206 and 1207, and remainder is there. Whatever the remainder you got into dx register, dx you are moving into ax, and whatever that ax is there, you are moving into 1208 and 1209. Okay, so this is the program you are using, the indirect addressing mode. Okay, so this is the program for calculating the sum of n numbers. Okay, let us take sum of 5 numbers. You should add sum of 5 numbers, and whatever the result is there, you should store in some address location. So first move ax comma initialization. Remember, first for any assembly language programming, the first part is initialization, and the second part is logic, the main logic, and the last part is nothing but whatever the result you are getting, you have to store either in memory location or some other address location. Okay, so here first if you see, first 5 lines are nothing but the initialization part. Okay, so move ax comma 0000. Okay, you are initializing ax with, you are clearing ax. Move si comma 1000, move di comma 2000, initializing si with 1000 and di with 2000, and how many values you want to add. So 5 values you want to add. So move cx comma 0005, 5 numbers to be taken as sum. So move dx comma 0000h. Okay, so add ax comma si. So that means there are some values are there. Okay, 5 values you need to give in this location: 1000, 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. Okay, so first value is there. First in 1000, suppose 12 is there. 12 you are moving into ax. Next you are incrementing si. So si becomes 1001 and decrementing dx. Okay, and compare cx comma dx. Okay, if both are equal, both are not equal, you have to repeat this one. Okay, so till dx becomes 5. Okay, so that will the values will be added and stored back to the ax. Okay, this loop will be repeated till the count, that means this count is equal to dx value. So every time you are adding means that the dx is incrementing, no? So that means when dx becomes 5, this condition is not satisfying, just it will come out of the loop. So whatever the result, suppose 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 is there. Okay, you will get the result, no? So that result is stored in AX register. So that AX value is there, you are storing in the 2000 and 2001 location. Okay, AX is nothing but AL and AH, no? Whatever the content of AL is there, you are moving into 2000 location, and whatever the content of AH is there, you are moving into 2001 location. Halt means stop the probe. Okay, so this is sum of n numbers. So next program, so this is the average of n numbers. So same as whatever the sum I told. So here initializing AX with all zeros, SI with 1100, DA with 1200, initializing the count and initializing DH with all zeros. Add AX comma SI. So increment XI, increment DX, compare DX CX comma DX. So till here you are adding the 5 numbers. Okay. Next what we should do, div CX. Div CX is nothing but AX by CX. Okay. So that means div CX is nothing but AX by CX. Average of 5 numbers. We are getting the average of 5 numbers. Okay. So AX, whatever the result AX is there, you are storing into the 1200. That means 1200 and 1201. Okay. So this is the factorial of a given number. So if you want to find out the factorial of 5, so what you are getting, 5 into 5 factorial is 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. No? So that is 120. So 120 is a decimal number. Internally what happens, it will convert into hexadecimal. And whatever the result you are getting, that will be stored into the memory location or memory location or a register. Okay. So you are initializing the count CX equal to 0005H and initializing DX with all 4 zeros. Move AX comma 0001. Mul CX. So mul CX means what it will do? AX with the CX. Okay. So that means 5 into 1. Okay. 5. Decrement DX. So now DX becomes what? Mm, we are not decrement DX. We are decrement CX. Okay. Decrement CX. Okay. So initially what is CX? 5. That becomes 4. So compare CX comma DX. Okay. Or otherwise, one second. So initialize this DX with 5. Decrement DX. Okay. So mul CX, you are decrementing, that becomes 4. Compare CX comma DX, both are not equal. Okay. Jump if 0, L1. So again you have to multiply 5 into 4. Okay. 5 into 3, 5 into 4 into 3, 5 into 4 into 3 into 2, 5 into 4 into 3 into 1. So at last what happens, these both are equal, becomes equal. So this condition is not satisfying. Simply it will come out of the next loop. So whatever the result is there, you are storing back to the 1200 location. Okay. So this is about the today's topic, assembler directives and program.